So I guess that means Fender have changed the industry forever. Hi folks, welcome back to the bench. Something a little bit different from us today. We are indeed reacting to yesterday's breaking news really. In fact, it's industry changing news, something I've not seen this big for decades, and it is Fender's victory in court over a Chinese manufacturer of Stratocaster copied design guitars. This ruling is from the 9th of March 2026, and I'm going to get the statements now on the screen for you, so bear with me. Fender Musical Instruments Corporation has secured a significant legal victory following a ruling by the Regional Court of Dusseldorf that establishes broad legal protection for Fender's iconic Stratocaster guitar body design under German and European copyright law. The decision creates enforceable rights against any guitars using the Stratocaster body shape that are manufactured, sold, or distributed into Germany or other countries of the European Union, EU, regardless of where those guitars are produced, reinforcing Fender's ability to protect its designs in global commerce. So what does this mean for the likes of yourselves and ourselves? Well, it's pretty big news. The Stratocaster guitar is probably the most famous design in the world. Even if you're not a player, at some point you will have seen this design. There'll be a few examples that will pop on screen now. There's a man that you might recognise with a Strat, Jimi Hendrix. We've got Eric Clapton, we've got Hank Marvin, and we've got Stevie Ray Vaughan. And there are just some of the players that have taken this iconic guitar to another level. So effectively, as of March 9th, 2026, if your company have a Strat-style design guitar, it just became illegal to sell in Europe. So in order to establish exactly what's happened, we need to very quickly discuss three things. That's going to be patent, copyright, and trademark. So the first thing will be our patent. I've just created this self-finding guitar pick. I'm always losing mine, so that would be quite useful. I take that to the patent office, and I've now got that protection for 20 years. So that's fantastic. Me and you then decide to write a song, piece of music, some lyrics, something of our own that we copyright. That's something slightly different. That will last our lifetime, so the lifetime of the author, plus 70 years. So we will have a long and fruitful life, and then from the day we're not here, we would have another 70 years. Now, trademark is something very different. If done correctly and through the right channels, there is no definitive end date to it. Over the years, Fender have successfully trademarked their Stratocaster headstock design and have previously had failed attempts to try and get their bodies trademarked. And I just thought I'd read out a couple of other statements. As a result of the ruling, Yiwu, I've probably pronounced that wrong, Philharmonic Musical Instruments Company is prohibited from manufacturing, offering or distributing guitars featuring the Stratocaster body shape in Germany and the EU. Any future violations may result in fines of up to €250,000 per infringement or up to 6 months imprisonment if fines cannot be enforced, subject to statutory limits. And this is the big one, folks. Fender emphasised that the ruling does not restrict innovation or healthy competition within the guitar industry, but rather that it represents targeted enforcement against clear cases of infringement while continuing to support originality, new design and creative progress. You can make of that what you make, but I think one thing to take from that is we haven't heard the end of this, and it's going to be interesting to see now what the next couple of months hold for us. What does this mean for the likes of yourselves and ourselves? Well, from retailers, this style design here is a Cruiser by Crafter Strat-style copy that you'll see, something that's very popular with us. And this design here, there are hundreds of them that most of your music shops will be the go-to guitar for anyone starting their journey. They're affordable, they're functional, and they will fit the bill for someone who's just starting. Yes, that's right, we don't all walk out with Fender custom shops on our very first visit to music shops. The biggest question of them all will be, what happens now? And the answer is, no one's going to know in that short term. Fender themselves now could go after some of these other brands and not just some of the budget manufacturers of these Strat-style copies. Over the years, and you'll hear this from other retailers, very often we would have to refer to this as a Strat-style guitar. If you were looking online for a hard case, it's very probable you would have seen ST type case. That would be a Strat type case. So with guitar brands that are closing down and the struggling high street, certainly in the music shop sector, how could this impact us going forward? Well, we don't know exactly, but most importantly, what do you think could happen now? Is it going to be that 5 years from now, if you want a budget entry-level Stratocaster, you will have to go for the Squire design, a very common and very requested model? Could it be that things like this will very much be a thing of the past? So effectively, what it means is Fender have not only got the ball, they have rewritten the rules, and that line in the sand, they haven't crossed it, they have leapt over it. So the next question would then be, what about other shapes that Fender produce? How long before that Telecaster style body become a thing that once again cannot be replicated with a design? It goes back to our discussion of trademark and it being a generic design. This comment I'm about to read I saw on another video, and I think it's the comment of all comments, and it's regarding the Strat-style shape. It wasn't generic because it was created, it became generic because everyone copies, and I think that has pretty much summed up what this video is about. That design is so iconic and so used. Is that how it's become our generic body shape? There's so much more of the nitty-gritty that can be dove into, and we've only just really touched on the tip of the iceberg of this story. I will be putting all of the links below where you can have a read yourself. So the most important thing to take from this, folks, what are your thoughts on the situation? Do you think this is the right ruling? Do you think it could have such a negative impact moving forward? Because the most important thing is you guys. Yes, we can manufacture the design. Yes, we can wholesale it and bring it to the music shop. But I have to sell it to you. And if you guys find that there's going to be a lack of options, does that make it a level playing field? Have you had some of these copies yourself over the years and felt that they are an absolutely fantastic guitar? What do you think is now going to happen? And is this just now the very tip of the iceberg for what could happen now with the future of guitars? We're going to leave you to it now, folks. I will be putting the links below in the description. There's a couple of other channels that I recommend if you want a greater understanding of what's gone on in a much better detail than what I've given you, and that would be KDH. Go and check his channel out. He'll give you a broader understanding of it and a little bit more presentable than what we are here. Thank you ever so much for joining us, and do let us know in the comments, what do you feel should happen now, what will happen now, and what will be the future of the industry 5 years from now. As always, thank you very much for joining us. I'm Jamie, your local music shop retailer. Thank you very much for joining us. Happy playing. We'll see you soon.